Hold on one second.
There we go.
All right, we are live. Let's see here. Hey guys. If you guys are on, why don't you guys leave a comment what team you play for and your name, or your daughter's name if you're watching for your daughter. Try to see if that works. We can start it probably at we can start it in 5 minutes like we talked about.
Yeah.
Trying to see where I can see everybody who is here. Well, there's 38 viewers. So there you go. I can see the count now. Hi, everybody. We'll be starting shortly. Hey, Sarah. I see Kaylee, Claire. Yay. Glad you... Can everyone hear us okay? As I yell. Pure comedy. Live always is so much fun. Okay, we have 42. Hi, Caitlin. Lacey and Lex, I know you both are there. Is that Jania Harris? Audrey. Kylie Martin, 17 Black. Woo, we finally, yay, we have one too from there. Good. We're going to start in a couple of minutes. We're just letting everyone log in. Hi, Linz. Let's see. Lexi, I see you too. Is that Adelie Ferris? Sanaya Blackman, Marley Rome, okay. Kennedy Grant, Victoria Piles, Emma Malk. Good. Hi, everybody. Okay, so we're at 48. I think there's about 10 to 15 more people that I know of that were supposed to be on this. So I'm just going to give it a hot second. And then I'm going to turn off the comments in a minute. Let's see here. Oh, Charlotte. Okay, Reese. Good.
So fun to be able to see that there's some parents on here with them. So nice to see y'all.
Kimber James from 14 Black. All right. I guess we can, start going.
Yeah. Cool. Let's get it going.
Hey, everybody. My name is Christy. I'm the TAV social media director. V-Ball Phil is my handle for social media. I am so excited to be sharing the stage with two amazing, I will say this, TAV alum for a sec, but two amazing women who are now, they played in college and they're on the other side. One, they'll be introducing themselves. One's a Drive Nation social media director, and the other one is handling NILs like it's going out of style. Like I said, my name is Christine Phillips. I pretty much have been in social media since the day it started. I created, Janelle, if you want to go to the first slide, thank you. Mizuno Long Beach, a lot of people know. I actually created their social streams. Worked with Misty May Trainer on her personal and her camps branding in the early 2000s. I was a foundation director. I worked on the AVP Pro Beach Volleyball Tour as a grassroots marketing director. I've kind of done a lot of it. I'm an ex-Division I athlete, ex-Division I assistant coach, ex-head coach in junior college. And I just love social media, and I love being able to promote so many amazing kids. And that being said, it's so important for everybody to really learn how to brand yourself and build your business. And that's why this is so important for everybody. And on that note, I'm going to hand it over to Alex.
Okay. Hi, y'all. So there's a few Drive kids on here, but as Christy said, back in my day, Drive was not a thing quite yet. So yes, I played at TAV, also went and played in college. And then I went and studied sports media and I studied PR. And And so social media has created a whole new avenue for sports media, obviously, but it's created a whole new avenue in general for everybody. And I currently work in marketing for a bigger company. Like that's my day-to-day job. And then I also work with Drive Nation doing social media. Started out coaching, so I coached while I played in college, and love volleyball so much. Was like, how else can we get involved into it? And so, yeah, that puts us here. A year ago, I was living in Italy, and I did that. So that's helped to like just seeing the way the rest of the world kind of operates and how socials affects the world globally. And it's a really big deal. So now we have pro teams here in the States, but of course they've been having that going on outside of the States. And so it was really cool to see that and experience that.
Perfect. So my name is Janell Fitzgerald. Hey guys. I played volleyball at Texas State from 2018 through 2023, season of 2022. Played all 5 years at Texas State. Throughout my time at the very beginning, let's say that first 1 through 4 year, we didn't have NIL a part of our day-to-day. It was just go to school, get everything done, go to practice, and that's really it. You just had your stipend and that was it. So I actually went to the Capitol at Tech in Austin, and I advocated for NIL to get passed in 2021. So I was a part of that little group, and I went on with the AD at Texas to advocate on behalf of all of the student athletes in the state of Texas. Throughout that time, I was able to really build my own brand. I already had started figuring out where I wanted my brand to be, how I wanted to make sure that I'm going to be recognized and remembered from outside of off of the court. I wanted to make sure that I could figure myself out before I really started getting paid for it. So once that got passed, my very first deal was a really small dentistry office in New Braunfels, Texas. You'll probably have no idea where that's at, which is fine. But New Braunfels, Texas, and then I've been and worked with some really great big companies while I was still an athlete, like American Eagle, like Bumble, and became the top earner at Texas State. So once I got done with that, I transitioned and said, what do I want to do with my life? I already had my master's at this point. I already had my master's in healthcare at that. And I wanted to figure out exactly, hey, like, how can I make the most difference, but still be around sports, which is what I love, right? We work every single day. We know exactly what we want to do. We put in all these blood, sweat, and tears from a very young age. How can I stay around this? And as I already had started that conversation with NIL and it got passed, and I was actually about to go and play volleyball overseas in Spain. And then my now boss DM'd me actually and said, hey, notice that you were leaving. Is there any way that we can get you to stay at Texas State and become the head of the collective at the time at Texas State? So I ran the collective there for about a year. And then I got brought over to our headquarters, which we're in Houston. And we then transitioned me over to being the director of athlete development here at TheLinkU. So this whole webinar is to help you to understand who you are, help you to understand what NIL is and how you can really get involved, and using social media as a tool instead of it just being something to just be around or you're just posting on, and understanding that monetization and making money from the things that you are posting is possible, and you have the tools and you have resources that are given to you, and to be able to use those people and use those resources for your benefit. And parents, you have all of these tools as well, and you have the availability, and we're going to kind of get into that once we get into the weeds of things, but you have just as much say so and just as much leverage as your athletes do. So I'm going to keep going. So what is NIL? What's name, image, and likeliness? So it's allowing athletes just like you to earn money from your personal brand. So that's social media, that's appearances, camps, merchandise, endorsements, licensing. Athletes are not an employee of the school based on the Texas law. And you are able to use your, like it is, name, image, and your likeliness based on yourself, not because of the sport you played, not because of the school you go to, not because of anything else, but based on yourself, your name, image, and likeliness to make money from that. It's not option. It's not required. It's an option for sure. Everything is, but your deals are based on your market value and not your playing time, not what school you go to, like I've mentioned. So best practices, how do I even use this? It's build your brand before you even need it. Right now, y'all are in a perfect time. And I will continue to preach this to go ahead and start building your brand. It's based on how you are going to present yourself. Think of your social media as your resume, if you will. So if you think about a quick scroll, how do I scroll on my Instagram? What does this tell me about myself? Now, if I'm only posting, if I only post volleyball, what does that say about me? Who am I as a person, as an individual, if I'm only posting volleyball? What if I'm only posting my friends and everything like that? Well, what else do you love about your entire life, right? So that's getting your lifestyle more incorporated. More NIL based things. Be authentic. Brands will value your trust and your consistency, and same thing, and focus on your long term. How can I don't need those quick. I know there's always DMs, probably, or brands DMing you talking about, oh, I can give you a trade, or I can give you I can give you this discount code or anything like that. But that may have nothing to do with what you actually love. Think about what your audience and why people follow you. And then that's a great time and great way to understand how to connect with those brands. And always, always, always track all of your deals and your deliverables, because at the end of the day, your dollars are taxable. Any money that you are making is able to be taxed. And so making sure you're keeping track of what's actually going on can save you in the long run. I'll talk about myself a little bit more. So my very first deal was a $10,000 Bumble deal, right? Or not my very first large deal, right? Sounds like a lot of money. For me, it was a lot of money. From going from $1,200 a stipend every single month and one-time check, going and grabbing that big $10,000. I thought, wow, I can do so much with this. I had nobody kind of in my back corner that could tell me, hey, maybe we set aside a little bit. Hey, maybe we save a little bit. Hey, maybe we invest a little bit. I just said, okay, let's spend it, because what else is a 17, 18-year-old going to do, right? I saw shoes I wanted, clothes I wanted, anything that sounds fun. And I wanted to get involved with that. So at the end of the year, February comes around, and for parents, that's tax season. For kids, yes, that's whenever the big girl undies have to come on, and you realize that you're actually making money. So I did get taxed on that $10,000 that was paid to me, and had to figure out, how am I going to make money to make sure that I can pay this, right? So understanding that you do have, once you start making money, there's responsibilities that come with it, but you have resources, and people who want to see you succeed. And it's important that whether you go to college for your sport or you don't, whatever you have money coming in that you have, and you lean on the people and the resources that you do have set aside for you, whether it's at your club that you are going to right now, or whether it's your parents or one of their friends, things like that, people that you trust. And then we can go on to everything else, right? Getting started. So how can I manage an NIL conversation while I'm recruiting? This is probably for most of you. NIL cannot be guaranteed by your coach. It cannot be. Revenue share, they might talk about some numbers. Some of those numbers might sound really sweet, but nothing can be guaranteed to you until you are on campus and you are signing that piece of paper of your contract. It's important to note that. And so whenever you are going through these recruiting talks, make sure that you love your school. Make sure that you love the area and the people that you are around, and understanding why you're choosing a university. Ask smart questions. So what NIL education and resources are provided. So these are education and resources. I don't necessarily need you to promise me dollars, but I need to understand that you have an ecosystem that is set up where I have a resource that I can lean on. Same thing, is there a collective or a marketplace access? How can I get more dollars in the door if I actually work for it? So biggest thing at my company that we normally talk about is we eat what we kill. So if I want something, that I'm going to go get it by reaching out to those brands, going to get those deals rather than things just being handed to me, right? I mean, that's basically what we all understand as club parents and as club players, is you get playing time because you're working hard at practice. You are getting playing time because in college, same thing happens. Get playing time if you're producing and you're on that court every single day, grinding it out, not because something was necessarily given to you. Who helps with compliance? Is there somebody that can help protect me with the compliance side, the legal side of these deals? Because and it's okay to not know. That's what everybody else in your ecosystem is there for. But how can I save myself whenever it comes to those contracts that are getting pushed at me? Am I going to owe something at the end of a contract? Is there something, if I don't do this, this happens? So it's important to go over those contracts and read what you sign, not just see it and sign, separate recruiting promises from NIL reality. Let's ask those questions. How have the past players in this group been able to actually have they been able to have any opportunities? Have the people before me, how's their success? What opportunities did they get to have? Now, everybody is different, but if you can see that there's an ecosystem that's already set up for you, then you're already setting yourself up for more success than none. Focus on development and exposure, not just dollars. There's sometimes that I will partner with a brand not knowing that I'm not going to get any dollars, but those small things that actually represent me as a brand is going to get me so much further than it would exposure and development wise than it would if I was going with someone that's going to give me a quick one check that might have had nothing to do with my brand, because my audience doesn't connect with their audience. None of those things level out. So therefore, I'm having a misalignment within the brand and myself. Anybody, Alex, Christy, you want to touch on anything else on that?
You're on mute, Christy.
I'm good.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Okay, perfect. Getting involved. So whenever you're actually in these, now that you're actually having this conversation, it lets me know that you're wanting to get involved, right? You have that interest, and that's really the first step. So congrats, everybody. Give yourself a pat on the back, because that's the very first step of actually getting started. So I'm going to start building my brand now. We'll talk a little bit later about how to get involved with that and how exciting that can actually be and how fun it's supposed to be. And it's not just tasking, right? You secure your social handles early. My name is Janell Fitzgerald, as you can see, but my social handle is my first and middle name. So it's Janell Brochet. Imagine somebody has that exact same name as me, but they grabbed it before I can even get to it, right? So right now is the perfect time to start building your brand based on yourself and what you actually are wanting your name to be, even in the future. So if your name right now is V-Ball Brooke, then what happens whenever you're wanting to grow up a little bit and you figure out that volleyball is not a part of your personality anymore? You're now lost in that sense of trying to start over, and your followers are not going to understand that transition. Register with approved NIL platforms. TheLinkU, we are an opportunities platform. There's other ones such as Postgame. There's Open Doors. There's Mogul. There's all types of different platforms that have opportunities, and we're non-exclusive, and as are all of those. And so you're able to sign up to as many platforms as you possibly want to apply for those deals, to get your name out there and try to really push out how much exposure you can possibly get or how many brands you can reach out to without having to individually email them. Network with local businesses, alumni, donors, family, and friends. So the people around you are super important. So whether that's a local business you see every single day, maybe you try to meet the people who are working the register. You never know who they're going to be one day. Same, and connect with them. Maybe I go to my favorite sandwich shop and I start talking with the owner and I say, hey, is your owner around? Do you think that I just want to talk to you and I want to have a relationship and start building that trust and that reliability so that once you get to that next level, they're going to be able to help you and understand your marketability. Gonna go. So where's the Texas NIL market heading? Texas is becoming a top NIL state. We have strong vote donor bases, our A&Ms, our TCUs, our UTs, even Texas State. We have and it's a mid-major. It doesn't matter if how big or how small that university is. You have a donor base. You have somebody who's an alumni and someone who has graduated there or gone there. So all of those things are super duper important. Same with high school to college pipelines. That's the same thing. Everybody, I mean, hey, I live in Houston now, and I still to this day, I say NTR, 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 North Texas region. I am so proud to be where I am from. And that's just because we have strong, strong, strong ties within the volleyball community. I mean, you see it here, and let us be your example. I mean, there's Christy, Alex, and myself. We're all in different places in our lives, but we're all able to stay connected within TAV, within Drive Nation, within the NTR region. And so then we're able to connect, and you never know where that could really go. All the different comparison states, there are different ones, but it's important to know where you are. So for high schoolers, you can get NIL deals right now. You just cannot get paid for them just yet. So sorry, can't happen. But as of last year in July, you're able to, if you are over 17, you're able to go into those brand deals. You just have to wait until you enroll in college to get paid. So that's whenever your payments come through, things of that nature. You can go ahead and get excited for the future. But anybody else, that's not even to say that you're not acceptable for those. Go ahead and push your brand, get yourself out there, get yourself excited for that next step so that once you do come to be able to get paid for these deals, then you can go ahead and boost your honestly, your wallet. Your pockets are going to be a lot more friendly once you have people that are interested in you. And again, it's that relationship that we were talking about a little bit earlier. So I'm not sure if Christy is going to be able to send this out to everyone, but this is a interactive link, an interactive map that you'll be able to click on, and it's going to be able to, it leads you to an open door site. But even if not, you can easily stay up to date by searching just NIL policy changes and up to date NIL policies based on your state that you're at. And it's going to take me to that, and I accidentally clicked it. My bad.
That's awesome.
Okay, so branding. I know you've heard this word so many times. So your brand, what is my brand? My brand is who I am, what I represent, and the things that I care about. So if I cannot understand those three things based on my social media, I know that I have no brand. Viral videos, just because you're viral and you got a 50,000 view video that you did on TikTok does not make your brand. It makes virality, and brands do not cling on to virality. They cling on to a brand, and that makes you more approachable. It makes you more enticing. So what is your media kit? So this is a sample media kit that, again, it's one in my bio. Whenever we get to the very end, you'll be able to follow my Instagram, and it's in my bio, as are all of the resources that you're able to be provided. It's in my link tree, which we will get to later, but you'll be able to see all of those different things, and you'll have access to a template that you can customize for yourself. So I keep this up to date. Like I said earlier, your social media is your resume. this is my resume based on any type of brand deal that I even do for myself, because I am an influencer outside of my own job as well. So you put your handles. I keep everything very basic. It's all of my socials are the exact same. I put a good email that is understandably for brands, and maybe that's Janell Brochet collab. Or for me, everything's just the same, just Janell Brochet and whatever engine you want to use that on. And I keep this consistent. I'm able to check it very frequently because I understand what it's for. And same thing about me, keep it very simple. You'll be able to use this exact same template and just change whatever you want to change. It makes it super simple for you. You don't need an entire, like, you can start off so small. I promise you guys, being a micro influencer can sometimes get bigger deals than a mega influencer can. So even if I have 1,000 or lower followers, I promise you, it's starting somewhere is better than starting nowhere. So don't be afraid. Don't be misled or discouraged because of a high follower number. That means absolutely nothing. It's more catered towards brands than it would be catered towards anything else. Your importance is building an audience for yourself. Another important thing is changing your Instagram or any of your socials to business accounts. So you're able to see your insights. And so you're able to actually become a creator. So you're going to have your bio, your athletic info, audience demographics. This all makes me more credible when I'm talking to a brand, because they understand where I came from, who their audience is going to be that they're going to connect with. And then it also tells them how much you're going to be going for. I usually put at the bottom, open for negotiations if I am open for a talk about what my rates could be, especially if I really value them as a brand. How do I build my market value? That starts with consistent posting. If you think right now that if you think that you are not posting enough, then you're probably not. And if you think that you're posting a lot and it's not at least 3 times a week, then you're not posting enough. So don't worry. It takes some work, but once we get, again, further down the line, you're going to be able to see a couple of easier ways to manage that in your brain. Because I know in your head, you're like, oh, that's a lot of work. I don't want to do it. And it's really easy to think that way. But whenever you have things that are in a bucket that's able to just be chosen from and then just posted, it's so much more easier than you're actually making it seem. It's really easy, and it's social norms to say, oh, I did it today, or I did it yesterday, or I did it the day before. I need to post it now. It's not necessarily true. Nobody knows about your life, and anything on your socials are based on what you want to show the world, not based on what's actually happening in your absolute life. Only time-sensitive ones are your schedules for your tournaments. Okay, that's different. But anything that's like repetitive and a part of your media pillars, which we'll get into, it can be drafted. It can be put away into a Google Drive or a shared photo album or something like that to be go ahead and used for later. A clear niche. Is it my sport and my personality? Absolutely. So right now your main, like everything that you do is based on, volleyball ran my world. I know it did for years and years and years, but I also love doing other things. I loved hanging out with my friends. I loved going to eat with my family. I loved being able to do all of these things, but I didn't know where to start. And all I knew was dancing on TikTok, and all I knew was volleyball, right? So I wanted to post those things. Now we're going to help you push that and help you understand how that can change a little bit later. Anything you wanted to add?
I was going to say, I totally lost my train of thought there. I got a little loud on my hand. When we, as athletes, when we're learning something, when we're playing the game, we have to practice to build a muscle, to build a rhythm, to build a skill. And another way to think about posting, because a lot of people I talk to and work with, they don't want to post 3 times a week. If I can get a post out of them, it's great. But can you imagine doing that in volleyball? where would you be? And so we are all athletes. It is just another way to think about you have to train yourself. You have to actually build the muscle, build the repetition. So that was my one.
And honestly, and that's a great point, because if I know, I mean, imagine doing math one time every week. Would you be ace your test, or would you be like, uh-oh, I don't know what to do? Like, this is a lot, right? So you have to teach yourself. And sometimes it takes a little bit of practice and a little bit of uncomfortability and getting a little bit out of your comfort zone, because sometimes your friends might say, well, why are you posting that much? Or why are you going to just get opinions, right? So those opinions have nothing to do with your future. I just want to let you know that now. You're going to get comments. You're going to get things and opinions from coaches or from anybody, honestly. And that is totally fine. Those have nothing to do with your actual goal. And it's important to note that even outside of social media, that it's important to go ahead and have a goal, stick to your goal, and understand what steps I can take underneath that that's going to get me to that goal. That's how I got to my record number. Like, that's how I got to, I mean, I'm not to, pat myself on the back, but like, I have the all-time record kills at Texas State. And and this is all while I'm still playing and doing social media, right? You can do both. You can. It's a balancing act. And I still was in school, still doing my master's. But the way that you do it, again, finding your goal, what do I want to get to, and give myself many steps to get there. Maybe I'm not posting every single 3 times a week right now. That's okay. Let's start with one. And then we can get to 2. When you feel comfortable and you got into the hang of it, okay, now let's do 3. And maybe you even get to the point where you're posting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like, you can get to how consistent you want to get, but you have to start somewhere. Branding continued. So how do I speak with a brand? I'm going to lead with a value. That's wherever we were talking about what your niche is and what my audience is. I'm going to talk to them and I'm going to say, hey, these are the things that I provide for myself. I like to lead with that I'm 6'1" and I'm an ex-volleyball athlete, or I'm an ex-athlete, and I cater to, and this is my audience of blah, blah, blah. I love to post like tall girl outfits, and I love to get into this and that. And then, or I'm a faith, like I have a strong faith. And so sometimes that's what I post. Those are the things that the brand is going to pay attention to, rather than saying, hey, give me $10,000 for 1 social media post, 2 story posts, and a reel. They're going to open it and they're going to delete it. I promise. Explain who your audience is. Right? That's what I was just talking about, and why they should trust you and what problem you can solve for that brand. So I noticed that you have not had a lot of comments on your last post. What if we do a giveaway that blah, 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 there's a lot of problem solving that can kind of go into this, and ChatGPT is your best friend. or Groot, not the name of it.
Grook.
And
so my favorite friend.
I was like, that's Chrissy's favorite. So I use ChatGPT even at my job, because I run campaigns for a lot of these bigger brands, and I want them to understand the different types of athletes that we have and the different types of backgrounds that we have. I'm never going to match an athlete that loves dogs with a company that's all about cats. It doesn't make sense, right? How can I make sense for you, and how can I help you? And that's how you should always approach any donors. That's how you should always approach any businesses, any brands. It's always, how can I help you? And I promise you, it'll get you so much further than having your hand out asking for how they can help you. Same thing with even coaching. I mean, I coached, same as Alex. I coached the entire time I was playing volleyball. I just stopped coaching. I coached the last 2 years at Houston Juniors. And that's the number one thing that I even would tell my athletes is, hey, if you come at me with an open mindset of how can I get better? How can I do something like this? And then I can translate it, then by all means, I'm going to be so much more open to try to understand your point of view. And then I'm going to be more interested than I would in say, why am I not playing? So it's a little bit of a different mindset change that you can get to. Be confident, clear, and professional. I know sometimes it's really, really hard to get over that hump of, a conversation. And that's just because of social media right now. So, first step is practicing. Practice with the people around you. Maybe it's your parents' friends, or maybe it's your teachers. Maybe it's your principals. Having a conversation with them can start to help you to understand how to have a relationship and understand how to have a conversation in general. And once you can understand that part, okay, now we can go ahead and start with business owners that are around town. Or maybe now I can understand how to DM a brand that's a little bit more personable. Having that personable touch and confident and professional will help you. How to use the people and the donors that you know. So like I said, start with those local family connections. Alumni love, 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 love athletes. That's why they're alumni and they still come around. I promise you. Some of my favorite donors they're one of our top donors at Texas State. And I used to call them literally mom and dad. Like, I promise they are there because they love the sport and they love to support you. And how can I get involved with them? And it's not necessarily asking for a monetary exchange. And maybe that person could possibly get you maybe they can get you a brand deal. Maybe they can offer you a job down the line. These connections are things that you might not be thinking about now, but I promise you the relationships go really, really far, especially in sports. And you're put in these positions wherever this is the perfect time for you to start. Same with like refs, which sounds really weird, but I've had some great relationships with refs that I even they coached or they refed me in college that I literally knew from tournaments. So it's important just to understand how to be kind and how to have a conversation. That's how you start those conversation building. So what's my ultimate goal for my athlete's social platform? So you want to have a trusted personal brand, which we've talked about, become more marketable during and after sports, because sports is not your personality. You are yourself and you are your personality, and you're going to control your narrative. Same thing that we were talking about whenever it came to, hey, I didn't do anything this week. Okay, but what'd you do last week? Because I know you took a video of it, or something along those lines of things that I've now gotten to the habit of just recording. I can control the narrative of my own social media. I don't have to go based on trends. I can use a trend to be able to push who I am. And I can now manipulate that trend to make sure that I can get people to my page, but it's about what I love and what I like and the things that matter to me. Creating opportunities beyond athletics. Same thing that I was talking about, getting job opportunities, having those relationships further on down the line. Your content strategy. Ask yourself these questions. How often are we posting? What content are we collecting? Who's responsible for it? Is it me? Is it mom? Is it anybody else around me? Are we all doing it together? Where's the content stored? Is that Google Drive? Is that Dropbox? Is that my shared photo albums? And how are we reusing content? Are we going based on our media pillars that we're about to get into? Or am I just doing one and done and I'm just posting about it once? Mind you can repost the same content in a different light. Media is media. And the algorithm is always, 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 always changing. And it doesn't matter about when you're posting it anyway, because it doesn't go from a chronological time anymore. It's all based on your algorithm, actually. So some suggested pillars that I always like to give my athletes that I always work on their brands. My athlete life. So there's 4. Doesn't mean you have to have 4. We can start with 2. We can start with 3. And then we can go with 5. We can do as many pillars as we want, but these are your main pillars of your page. So my athlete life. And then there's different things following it, and that's based on things you can post about based on that. So for me, that would be like, okay, my Monday is athlete life. My Tuesday is personal life. My Wednesday is education and values. My Thursday is brand and partner content if I had it, right? So it's like, how can I structure my page to understand and make sense as you were if you were to do a media project or any type of, oh no, I'm offline. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, it said I was offline. I was like, oh no, what? I was like, terrible timing.
I know, right?
So
Just keep going. You're good.
maybe my Monday's athlete life, I would talk about training. I could talk about competition. I can do routine. I can show different things that I'm working on. I can clip something from one of my larger videos and make it make sense. Personal lives, I can talk about these things, or I can show myself doing it. I can do a day in the life. I can do a get ready with me. I can do anything that's like cater to what's in my school bag, like all of these different things. What did I learn at school today? Like things that maybe make sense to make people and your audience want to follow you. Your goal is to get an audience and to get interaction. It's so easy to get transactional with social media, but really you do want to have a bond and an audience that's honestly like zoned in to wanting to know who you are. And that's why they're following you, right? Education and values, leadership, discipline, mindset, and then same thing, brand, partner content, sponsored or tagged content. Honestly, whenever I'm posting anything, even if it's like an outfit that I'm posting with my friends, I honestly try to tag the brand on every single thing that I post. And that's just to get more of their like engagement and more content out there. And the algorithm is going to notice that I'm tagging lots of different things, and they're going to try to tag and push my content to the same people who like that type of content. So that's why it's more important to start tagging people. Branding and things to avoid. Do not. So it's a little bit of a story time. So you see my very, very beautiful merch right here. We love her. She's so cute, right? So in 2021, whenever that 2021-2022 season was going on, obviously it's the very first time NIL was coming around. I can finally make money. I had a brand reach out to me. They DM'd me and they said, hey, we'd love to do merchandise for you. I'm like, oh, let's do it. Let's go quick, because I want to make sure that it gets out before my season starts. Mind you, it's July and season starts in like August, end of August, September. So it's time to move quick. I have no thought in my brain about reliability, who they are, do any type of background check, anything like that. I thought, yes, let's go. I get money. Perfect. Send me the contract. I'm going to sign it and we can get into production. They're going to handle my my production. They're going to my printing. They're going to talk about my distribution. They're going to send out all of my stuff, and they're going to handle all of my payment as well. And I get paid on the 15th of every single month. That's what I read in my contract. That's what I figured is going to happen. Amazing. The pro side of this is I still have a shirt from my collection. Yay, that's so cute. But the downside of this is that I did not do a background check, and I saw that they had 2 other athletes and thought, oh, well, they're still on. That must be, they're reliable. Great. Well, first month goes well. I push it out to my audience. They snag onto my merch. I see girls in the stands wearing my merchandise. I'm happy. Month 2 comes along. I see that there's still people buying my stuff. Amazing. I still have not received a dime. Month 3 comes along. I'm now questioning when I'm going to get my very first pay check. This is the 3rd, 15th that has happened at this point. Where's my money, right? I email the brand, or I go to their socials first to realize that they're gone. Social media page is gone. Oh no. I email them based on the email that I already had. And I realized, okay, they're not responding to anything. I start DMing the athletes that I had noticed that had them before. And they also, they were actually responsive, but they said the same thing was happening to them. So then that 3rd month is the only reason why I knew to check out or reach out to them, is because I had people start DMing me and emailing me and asking, hey, I've never received my order. hey, I paid, but I never received my order. Well, this now negatively affects my brand because they're thinking that it's going through me, right? So it's important to understand who you're giving your NIL to and who you're actually trusting with your name, image, and likeliness, because it can negatively affect you at the end of that. So once we ended up getting all of that settled and everything like that, and I took the L, but I did take a punch in the face to be able to understand that can hurt me. So let me be your lesson to not trust everybody. So the things that you need to be checking for, and I put them here and right here, is check your reviews and reputation. Look at those reviews, ratings, what other people say. Especially the comments on those people's posts. They should have comments at this point. And then verify your transparency. Look at those return policies, the warranties, and the company background. And then assess the consistency and the proof. So look for partnerships. Look at their tagged mentions. Look at all of those things. And that's how you can spot a scam versus a real page. Another interference with your sport in school. This is extracurricular. Social media is not your main hobby. It's not something that you should be basing your life around. It's an extra to showcase what you are doing already. So make sure that you are keeping your sport and your school first. Well, your school and your sport in that order. And then make sure you can get on past that. Negative effects on mental health. So mental health is super serious. And it's very important to understand that social media is, like we said, you're controlling your own narrative. And social media does not run your life, and you will have negativity that comes past you. It's important to understand that you have resources, again, outside of volleyball, inside of volleyball, that love to help you, that would love to understand what you're going through. But it is really, really, really easy once you start posting consistently. And whenever you have that dopamine and adrenaline that starts shooting up because you have a big rush of big followers, right? Well, most of the time that if a post goes viral, you're going to get the large amount of followers that come in, and a lot of the time they unfollow. Again, to be completely honest with you, how many times, Alex and Christy, have your followers gone from like 10,000 to 5? Like, that happens all the time. And it's not saying they don't like you. It doesn't mean that they don't support you. It doesn't mean anything about that. It's about your consistency and your content that's actually happening. It has nothing to do with anything. So keep everything separate. Your mindset and how you can perceive everything is how you stay consistent and how you stay level-minded. The same thing with sports. If I'm on the court every single play and then I get pulled out one time, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're a bad player. It doesn't mean that you're the worst and you made so many mistakes. It means that that's a coach's decision that happened, and it's time to move on. And how can I get better from this? Take everything as learning lessons instead of taking everything as like a hit, right? Lack of compliance and paperwork. Social media and getting paid from your social media can affect your eligibility. So please understand that if there's a deal that's over $600, it goes through NIL Go. Since last year, so July 2025, any deal that's over $600 has to go through NIL Go. It's going to go through the compliance team and make sure that it's a legible deal and that it's not going to hurt your eligibility in any way. And then it's going to get approved, and you can do whatever work they're asking you to do and whatever payment you're getting. So NIL Go, perfect. If not, there's people around you that would love to look at what you're going to have to do and all of that paperwork and everything like that. But please make sure that it's submitted, because I don't want anything to hurt your eligibility in the long run. That includes taking payments right now, earlier, as you are still in high school. Social media. So there's Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or X, and YouTube. So there's all these different ways that you can post. You can cross post. You can post the same thing on all different platforms, and I promise you, no one's going to care. No one's going to be searching on every single thing and making sure that you're posting something different on the same. But what you can do is you can hire your engagement and your interaction because you're posting on the same thing. So say I have long form content, any videos that are recorded, and a game or something like that, a vlog, a highlight reel, a training series, anything like that. And I can maybe use one of the tools that we're going to talk about later, and I can cut those up. And now those are things that I can post on my Instagram, post on my Twitter, post on my TikTok. And now I can start to get more traction based on those things that I'm posting. Let's start with Instagram. So game photos, training clips, lifestyle content, awards and achievement. Yes, you can brag about yourself. It's your social media. It's what you want to post. Do not be shy about the achievements that you have done. You've worked so hard and you are yourself. Please, please, please do not be afraid to post it. Stories and the people in your life should be supporting you anyway. To be in your audience would be supporting you anyway to go ahead and talk about that. Doesn't mean that you're bragging. It doesn't mean that you're cocky. Doesn't mean anything like that. It means that you are proud and you've put in the work and you're showcasing. You're showcasing your life, and that's what social media is for. Stories for daily life. If you post a story, you're boosting your engagement again, your interactions. That's posting polls. That's posting questions in my story. That's making my caption a tag a person who, tag a teammate who, things of that nature to drive comments and drive people to tap on your screen and slide on their screen rather than to just look and swipe. Short form TikTok, short form personality content, trends in sports related clips, and behind the scenes. TikTok, the average span of like attention is probably, I think it's 2 to 3 seconds. It's not long at all. So that's why we have this little thing in our head that says we need instant gratification and says we need it now. That's because of TikTok. So TikTok is, if I can get a hook in that very first 2 to 3 seconds, that's going to make it easier for my person or for my audience to stay for that full 30-second clip or 30-second video, then by all means put that at the very first clip, and then the rest of the video can go on. But how can I get them to get engaged through that very first hook? Twitter. It's just honestly just recruiting updates, highlights, professional voice. This is wherever I can start commenting on things. This is where I can start retweeting, reposting, all of the things like that that you're already doing on Instagram and TikTok. It's more about actually having opinion, but do realize that your voice lives forever, and so does social media. So anything that you are posting will and can be found, even if it is your Finsta. Yep. I said it, your Finsta. So if you think that your Finsta is private, it's not. People can still get a hold of it. There might be somebody in there that you think you trust, but they don't trust you. So there's lots of things you have to be careful for, especially at this stage of life that you guys are in. You're at a very vulnerable place in your life. Be careful what you're posting and where it's going, because people are looking at these things, even if you don't think that they are. YouTube, same thing, long form, highlight reels, training series, and long form content and vlogs. Social media. I don't know if you guys know who this is, but I'm bragging on her. Her name's TheLinkU. She plays at Utah Tech. I coached her 17s, and now she's at Utah Tech and has like 500,000 followers on Instagram, TikTok, one of them, and then a lot on the other one too. But it's because of her consistency. It's because she's posting about things that she loves. Her little brother is autistic, so she loves to have him in things and start talking about autism awareness. And she talks about her faith, and she talks about her family, and she talks about volleyball. Again, her media pillars, and she's able to have a consistent series based on those things. And now she has a consistent audience that loves to look for what she's posting. One, rules to follow. One. Everybody say it with me. One, Instagram account. Because I promise, 2 accounts, split your followers, and you will, one of them will go inactive by senior year. One of them will fall off, and you're going to be wondering, oh, wait, what happened? Well, now you just split your audience into 2 places when it could have just been one. You know, if I have like a bag of beans and they're going into 2 different cups, and I watch this big bag go into 2 separate cups, I can't fill this other cup with this cup. I have to now keep them separate because they're separated already. it's important to understand that one keeps you consistent. Imagine having to post 3 times on this page and 3 times on this page, and it's not the same content. You know, that's a lot of work. Trust me, I know, I do it for my job. So
As do I.
and it's our jobs, and we don't have anything else going on. It's our jobs. Assume nothing is private. I already said it, but you're Finsta. I'm going to keep on saying it. You're Finsta, you're Finsta, you're Finsta. Nothing's private. And it's important for your main page not to be private. Make sure that you are being able to be discoverable. You represent your family, yourself, and your school. So everything that you post, you have to stand by it. You represent everybody around you, whether that's your club, whether that's your dog, it doesn't matter what it is, it's now attached to you. So be careful. Etiquette. Respond to brands promptly. If they DM you, or if they email you, or if they see you or something like that, respond to them quickly. You're one person out of millions of people that they've reached out to. Take that graciously and be thankful that they're reaching out because they want to work with you and they're seeing the brand interest, but they're not going to come after you for long. Be respectful in comments and DMs. And this is where Finsta comes in as well. And your fake Twitters and your fake TikToks and your fake everything. If you have these things coming at you and you see, oh, I'm going to get back at them and it's this page, and I promise you, there's such an easy way. There's so many different ways to figure out who it was. It's not that hard to figure out who you are, and it should scare you. So make sure that you understand that if you want to respond to something, you have to be still representing yourself, your family, and your school. If you wouldn't want your school to see it, if you wouldn't want your family to see it, and if you wouldn't want anybody else to see that, then do not post it. Thank partners publicly when appropriately. Communicate clearly and professional. Things to do. We've already talked about some of these, but post consistently. That's a hard word, y'all. Post consistently. Post your life. You're more than just an athlete. You have an entire life and people who love exactly who you are. So go ahead and keep posting that. They don't watching your sports, amazing, but they want to see who you are. They want to see what you love, what drives you to be you. Share your wins and awards and your milestones and be confident. Things to avoid: negative posts about teammates, refs, coaches, inappropriate language and visuals, and posting while emotional. I know there's some babies in the chat, so I don't want to go too crazy, but if you post you're in a bikini, by all means, I know that there's a negative connotation around posting these types of things, but it's your life. It's based on the things that you are doing. Now, is every single post going to be that? No, but that's your lifestyle. It's who you are, and it doesn't mean that it makes you anything other than that. And who you are doesn't mean you're anybody less than yourself if that happens, or if that's what you choose to post. Now, am I going to be careful about a lot of things? Absolutely. But that's whenever you say, hey, mom, is this okay? What do you think about this? Hey, coach, if I posted this, what do you think they would do you think this would be taken in a negative way? Things like that, and getting approval goes so much further than posting and asking for forgiveness later. So go ahead and get those little leaves of improvement before you get to that next step. Content creation. So best practices. If you look at your phone and you are on your back camera and you press the little thing right there, you're able to see different types of settings. You're probably not going to see it there. But if you're on video, in the top left corner, you're going to see, if you can see that right there, it's going to tell you your resolution, and it's going to show you how many, basically your shutter speed. So it's going to say, if I want to go 4K 60, that's pretty good. But most of the time, the common influencer shutter speed is 4K 30. And then even if you would like to slow it down, 4K 24. So if I'm in everyday volleyball mode, whatever, 4K 60, and then think about slowing it down as we go down. Vlogging, 4K 24. Use your back camera. Use a vertical format. Good for lighting. whatever is good for lighting versus a fancy camera. I promise you, being an influencer doesn't cost a lot of money. It just means that you need to use your resources a little bit better, okay? And then keeping clips short and steady. In best practices, whenever you're in season, it's time to focus on your sports, time for time management and prioritization. You're already traveling a lot. You're already doing a whole bunch with school. So just understand that you've already now, if you're in this and you've been doing this for an entire however long, I'm going to use that content that I've already used or posted or I have drafted somewhere. And then I can now use this maybe on game day, maybe on another time, but you have usages for that content already. Off season, time to create content and connect with brands. And it's more time to talk about and explore NIL and DM brands and email them and understand that you can hype them up for the next season as well. I mean, personally, that's what I do. Whenever I cover every single sport, but I use that. I say, hey, Bumble, we have March Madness right around the corner. I know, and I might talk to them in February whenever it's nowhere, or not February, but like April, right after March Madness had already finished, because now they're starting to figure out what their spend is for that next season. So it's about like getting in the hang of when is the best time to understand when a brand's about to start thinking about getting ready to do more content. More content creations. Parents, this is what you've been waiting for. How do I get involved? So parents, y'all can help create those moments. You all are around the court. Amazing. We love it when you are. And just imagine if all of you understood that you have one place that you can share all of your content, whether you have a better shot, whether you have a better angle, whether you have any type of anything. It's so much easier than it would be to say, hey, I'm going to shoot this time. And now it's a rotation. Anna's mom is going to be able to shoot this one. Okay, the next one. Lauren's dad is going to be able to shoot this one. And then we can interact with each other, and we can start getting into the mix of things and helping our daughters be able to be great. Upload all those clips after the events. And then, like I said, that's how everyone gets content and still gets to be a part of the actual games. Cross-posting for my athletes and for my parents. Actually, both of y'all can do the exact same thing. Tagging people. If you have anybody tagged into that post, you can still tag them. I promise you, as a coach, I would have loved to be tagged in some of the things that I was tagged in because I want to repost my athletes. I'm developing them, so I want to be able to share that content too. Cross-posting with other athletes, teams, tournaments, and it increases your reach and exposure by how many people are tagged into that post. And also same with collaboration. Say it's a collab post, or maybe even DM your club's page. I mean, it's them. So you're going to be DMing them and be like, hey, I had this great shot. This gives them a lot more content to work with in the first place, right? They're in 20 different places at once. And you're like, dang, I really want this to be highlighted on my Drive Nation or my TAV page. Maybe I shoot them a DM and I say, hey, I have this really great clip. I would love for you to share it. They're going to collab post with you. And now it's off to I know TAV has a lot of followers on their page, and so does Drive. And so then you can now grab other athletes that are coming from those pages as well. Editing tools recommended. So Canva, that's a great place to get templates. Same with InShot. That's a great editing app. Linktree, it's a great place to put all of your socials in one place without them being cluttered in your Instagram bio at the bottom. Snapseed, I don't use, they do. Opus Clips, that's a great AI tool to be able to cut up a whole bunch of highlights so you don't have to do it by yourself in, say, CapCut or anything like that, to be able to cut it up yourself. Opus does AI to be able to do that for you. And then Grok and ChatGPT, great place to be able to start going ahead. Hey, ChatGPT, give me content plan for the next month. Give me ideas of things I can post for the next month. What are the trending sounds right now? What are my trending I promise it's so much better than just going in empty and blindsided, right? Because you have an AI tool being able to help you use it. I don't know what Snapseed is, so one of y'all is going to.
So Snapseed is actually an editing for, you can change the colors. You can, it's a really great photo and video editor in the app.
Okay.
So yeah, it's great to have as a backup also. Yeah.
Cool. Gotcha. So our goals and next steps. So these are your goals. So everybody take note of these. I'm going to try to post. I'm not saying you got to do all 3 right now, but eventually this is what you want to do if you want to be successful. 3 to 5 posts a week on Instagram, and then 2 to 3 short form videos per week. That's super, super manageable. As much as everybody's on their phone, I promise you, I think you can turn the camera, hit that little back button, record yourself walking to school, record yourself walking somewhere, record anything. So just record. Doesn't mean post. It means record. It means that you can cater anything that you have. I have so many videos from Christmas that I didn't use, and I'm so excited to be able to use these in the next few, couple of months to be like throwback to Christmas, like throw back to the time whenever my family was together. Like all of these types of things that can kind of push people back to who I am as a person, and then it can start feeding my audience what life is actually like for myself. Posting ideas, game day routines, training clips, travel days, highlights, faith and family moments, award announcements, all these different things. And again, in my bio, you'll be able to see this, but there's an athlete content calendar that I've also created. It looks like this, and it has all 5 days, not just 3 as you see right here. But it gives you kind of like a focus, a content type, and an idea that you can use. I then have a blank spreadsheet or a blank template that's right underneath it that you're able to use. And if you follow this, I promise you can get in the hang a little bit easier. Just print it out, put it on your mirror, understand like kind of how I can really start getting useful and use the resources that I already have. And then we can go ahead and get your content on and pop. What TheLinkU, what we provide, I'll talk a little bit about my company. Student athletes, now is the time to maximize your NIL with TheLinkU. I don't really want to hear myself talk. I've been talking the whole time. Y'all can hear me talk right here. So basically all I'm talking about is TheLinkU. We have athlete opportunities. We have lots of resources that are catered to being a student or being an athlete with TheLinkU. We're non-exclusive. You're able to become an athlete, and then you're still have access to all of the brand opportunities that we post on there. And I'm able to click only high school. I'm able to click the state. I'm able to click your specific university and sport. I can put everybody at TheLinkU to apply for a deal. But again, it's the marketplace. It's how I can get more involved. And then I can start, once I start building my brand, then I'm going to get approved for these deals. We also have athlete shops. So it's pushing everything to one. So we have autographed items that you're able to go ahead and have people request. You can put your bio on your, or like your athlete shop bio in your link tree, and then say, hey, if you want an autograph item or a request a shout out or an NIL opportunity, put it in one place and everybody's going to be able to see it in one place. Same for all of your social medias. It will also be linked right there. This is also a great way to be able to track your own NIL deals. If I have an NIL deal that I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to remember to manage, I can upload this and I can put it in my dashboard, my back office, and then I can say it's from this company. These are my due dates and these are my deliverables. It's then going to remind me that I have things that are going on and I need to get ready to post about those. So it's a little bit of a tool that you're able to use, and it's free to be a part of, by the way. A little bit of what I was just talking about. So this is what a normal profile looks like. So your shout out, request a post, request an autograph, or request to meet. These are just photos that athlete's able to upload, and then all of their social accounts are also linked right there. So Let's get to work. I'm so excited that I was able to come on and partner with Drive Nation and TAV and really get you guys more interested. And I hope I wasn't boring. I tried to be as millennial or whatever it is as possible to get you guys to understand that I hope that I'm more of a representation and understanding that you can get there. And it doesn't take an arm and a leg to get to the places that you want to be, but it just takes a little bit of interest to become a habit. So grow your muscle, understand how I start, and then understand that your brand is how you make more money. So your brand is your bag. And
Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead. Go. I was just saying, these are all of our socials and our emails, just in case you have any questions and you want to get involved more.
What I was going to say is if you guys have questions, the chat, I'm about to show it on stage, but the chat, ask a question in the chat and Janelle, one of us can answer. Also, too, something that since we have Drive Nation and TAV and we're under the same policy, just know that we love to collab, but we cannot collab with any type of music from the app. It needs to be silent, completely music free, or the actual gym background. It's not our, both of us, we have to deal with this. It is a STARS policy. So just so you guys know. Now, is there anybody who has any questions or wants to ask Janelle specifically any NIL questions? See if anybody is brave enough.
And you're faceless, so you won't even know.
I know, you can see names.
But you can, oh yeah, faceless. But if you, I'm also open to DMs. If you DM me, I will answer. I'll respond. Does she respond? I know that's what y'all like to comment on TikTok.
Does she respond? They do it on my YouTube, so I get it.
You're like, yes, I respond. Hey, girl. Nothing. Parents, anybody? Y'all have anything?
Oh, here you go.
Hey.
This is a good one. I can already tell.
I'm going to say it out loud. When you speak to these colleges during recruiting and they begin making all the promises of this and that, if they say they'll give your child, for example, $25,000 in NIL, if there are no contracts signed, what insurances do you have that they will keep their word upon enrollment and pay your child? So if they promise you $25,000 in NIL, there's not really any insurances that you can kind of based on other than a term sheet. And even then, that's non-binding. And so if they can tell you if they're going to do 25,000 in rev share, ask them kind of where is that 25,000 based out of? And there's nothing really that you can say or get promises from just because, I mean, if there's a contract, there's a contract. But if there's not a contract, then nobody's binded to anything. It's just based on your word and trust. I know it's not what the answer that you wanted to hear, but it's being real.
That's a great question, though.
Yeah, great question. I wish I knew what their language.
Oh, don't worry about that. That's side.
Oh, just kidding. That was a great question. Of course. Anybody else?
Oh, I'm going to talk really quickly too. I was going to bring this up. Snapchat is the dirty word that no one likes to talk about, but people need to be aware that every kid, even when they say they aren't, they're on it. And everything that is shared, posted, anything is findable. It doesn't delete, it doesn't erase, it doesn't go, it's in Snapchat's algorithm, in the back storage. They have access to it, meaning if it ever gets hacked, like all the iPhones that got hacked years ago or different things, it's all out there. So, and Snapchat is the untamed marketplace right now too, because everybody's on it. So if your daughter is on Snapchat, really encourage them to be smart about what they post. You know, I've become my own entity and I post a lot of volleyball, and that's why people follow me. Um, just make sure, and this goes with all your social media, just have a conversation. You know, I'm not going to post anybody in a bikini on TAV because of club policy that we set a long time ago because people are out there. We don't want commenting on stuff like that. But like Janelle said, there's nothing wrong with posting. Just make sure if any girls are on here listening, make sure you have the approval of whatever you post because it's trackable. I can find things all the way back to my first post on X, on Instagram. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing about X. All the people who write stories, that's, you know, retweeted if they talk about your team, if they talk about you. You know, it's all about retweets. There's a lot of noise on X, but you know, we talked about having all these engines, but try to lock in social streams now. Even if you don't use X for 3 more years, try to have it set there so that when you are able to use it, because your value is going to go up the more you have stuff across because different companies, and Janelle probably can talk on that, but different companies are going to have, you know, different focuses. But X2 right now is kind of a big deal. So even if you don't use it, like I'm going to use this as an example. Congratulations, Sophie Peterson. You are the Texas Gatorade State Player of the Year this year. Shout out. I'm so proud of you. There's going to be posts from Gatorade. There's going to be posts on Instagram. It's going to be there too. You know, USA. We have USA members in here. Even high school, you know, JV shout outs, junior high shout outs. Like you'd be surprised how important it is. So at least if you lock it in now, you have it for the future.
Yep.
And something to quickly add, obviously the goal is always for all of our athletes to go and play volleyball at the highest level that they possibly can, and to get as many opportunities from specifically volleyball as possible. We wish that on all of you. But, you know, you guys will become adults and real life will happen. So when we're talking social media, there's a lot of opportunities, yes, but social media is now the way of the world. So parents or kids who are still on here, it is very important too that whatever you post, aside from it's not private, do you want to speak to it? Do you want to claim that? So that could be simply opinions. Do you want to talk about, well, I hate short hair? Is that productive to be shouting into the world? That's something that you're going to have to claim. So obviously that's kind of a silly example, but that's kind of what we're saying here. You know, whatever you guys are putting out there, social is the way of the world for everybody. You know, like Janelle and I, we obviously aren't playing volleyball anymore, but we're still heavily involved in it. Chrissy isn't playing, but she's still a part of it. You know, it's still, there's so much still going on that we've built in this world of social. And so it's very important to be mindful, especially as, you know, as the girls who are closer to going to college and you're moving closer to adulthood. Right now, when you're, you know, a kid, it's easy to be like, oh, they were a kid and they didn't know. Okay, but once you get into college and you are now an adult, you now speak for and you claim anything that you put out there with your name attached to it. In addition to brands that you work with, you know, that's another conversation as well. But like, as Janelle mentioned, she worked with Bumble. What if in Janelle's life, she's anti-online dating? And now she's, you know, working with Bumble. Oh, you're on mute. Just the point is, yes.
I was actually in a relationship during that, so it's the same thing. It's like, yeah. I was in a relationship during that, and it's all about your narrative. Same thing that we were talking about.
So we're just saying that, you know, even if for some of you, if volleyball is the thing right now and maybe in 10 years, 20 years, it's not for you, that's okay. But this is still a great way to just have opportunities in life. You guys can get jobs this way. You guys can meet people this way. And it's just important to be mindful of whatever you guys put out there on Snapchat included. Because we were those teenagers telling our parents, it's not the same. It goes away. It's different. I verbatim told my mom the exact same thing that you were telling your mom, and it does not, and you claim it. Okay. So just be mindful of that it doesn't even have to always be a bikini picture or whatever that is. It could be something as simple as that. I don't like short hair, or I don't like purple shoes. Who knows? And there's nothing wrong with those statements, opinions, or whatever. It's just being mindful that y'all, however you carry yourself is important. And when we say build your brand, that's your brand. You are representing who you are, what you believe in, the direction you want to go. So just being mindful of that too, that social is another just avenue to speak for yourself. So whatever you put out there, be prepared to claim it, stand beside it. That's you.
And also, I'm glad that Christy, you brought up Snapchat, because it is a great way to get monetization right now. It is an insane boost right now. And also using other apps, like if you're editing, or say you're editing in another app and then you use the edit app by Instagram, like they're going to push that content so much further. So be mindful and start doing your research about kind of like what are the underneath apps that are, or editing apps. Like I don't edit any of my stuff on Instagram, but I most definitely will put it in there and add music to it, or I'll add a caption to it, or I'll add something small wherever it is now edited by Instagram, and then I post it right there. And so then it's like, oh, that makes more sense. But yeah, there's a difference between like your Snapchat private story, not saying that it's private, but I'm saying like there's a public monetization side of Snapchat that a lot of you don't realize you have. You have a public page that is happening. So it's called your public profile. So if you go to Snapchat and then you slide over and you go like where your stories are, you'll see public profile. And that's wherever you can start search or adding onto your spotlight. That's wherever you can start adding to your public profile and things like that. And that's how you can find, or that's how people can find you.
And I was going to say on Snapchat side, it's crazy. You know, YouTube and Snapchat, in my opinion, you can't hear me?
No, I can't.
Oh, I can hear you.
YouTube stories, shorts, and Snapchat right now, like especially with Snapchat, I have millions of views on stuff I have on Instagram and TikTok, because a lot of the time I take it first, and the way I do it is I take it first in Snapchat, hit save. If it's good, I'll post it some other places. If not, I just share it. But people like Favor, I know a lot of us know who Favor is. I'll never forget, she spins a ball when she surfs. And I don't even know how many. I think it's like 10 million on a, like, so when you guys like are doing this, I'm not trying to encourage Snapchat. What I'm trying to say is be aware of it. Keep it clean. Keep it, this is a brand builder. But YouTube also. YouTube is a huge market.
It's easy to get lazy on YouTube though, so be careful.
Yes, agreed.
I got lazy on my YouTube.
Is there any other questions? Because I know we have a tournament tomorrow for everybody. Good luck.
Good luck, everyone.
Remember, tag TAV and Drive Nation after you're done, or have your parents text us the picture and normal.
Oh, I would love to reshare your stuff too. If you tag Janell and Bran, I have or if you post anything regular, like, oh, this is something I learned from Janell and Bran, I would absolutely love to repost you. So please do that.
I guess we can end.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it was great meeting everyone virtually. Thank you for listening to our hour-long spiel about why social media and NIL is important. And I hope we didn't bore you at all. And I hope you're so excited to get started. And it starts tomorrow. So parents, you can go ahead and start recording and getting a drive together, or a shared photo album. And athletes, you can start on your branding. So let's see it. I'm excited to see what you guys do.
And thank you so much, Janell, for
thank you, Janell,
together and spending your time with us. It's very helpful to our athletes, and we're so grateful that you were able to do that.
Of course, anytime. Thank you, and hopefully we can do this again.
Yes, I would love that. So putting it out there. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining.
Thanks, guys, bye.